No mountains today. Snowing over there, it looks like to me. Still see that mountain though. Anyway, good morning, folks. My truck, we had to leave up there on the mountain, so I'm waiting for the folks that have the tow truck to give me a call back, and we're heading up to go and get it. They're all friends too. I tell you, it's sure a good thing to have friends. Greg and Jeff are great. They rescued me so dang many times, and I told them, you guys gotta break down and let me get a chance to get even. But I hope they don't, but not break down, but I need to get even with them one of these days. These guys, they're great. They used to all be on the part of the car race track. I got to know them really well. But anyway, hopefully this goes well. They said they have some Teflon type skids that they can put underneath the rear windows and rear tires, and keep them from rolling as we drag it up on there. So hopefully it doesn't break any of them gears. Probably the easiest fix for this is to get a junkyard rear end, just take the whole axle out and swap them. But I don't know what the gearing is, so I'll have to find that out and see if they even have one. Well, anyway, my trapping season, at least for now, has come to a screeching halt. I'm sure glad. This could have been a lot worse. We could have broke down on that steep, icy slope. It's kind of a thin ridge. There's nowhere to get off the road, and it wouldn't roll anyway. If we'd have started to slide, it would have been really bad, and it would have been a steep, icy slope to try to get it up and off of there with, and 6 inches of snow. So where it broke down, I'm really glad that it waited until then to do it. Would have been better at the house, of course, but if it was going to break down in the mountains, I'm glad it did it where it did. So, and we were going slow, 15-20 miles an hour at most, and I don't think I broke anything, but we'll find out. Any way you look at it, it's not a lot of fun. I had planned to, I had this, the camper trailer. I had it hooked up. I was going to go up there and set those beaver traps, and Cindy decided, well, she wanted to get, as she was calling them, fuzzy sticks. They have some moss and stuff growing on them for decorating with, and I thought, well, why don't we take the little trailer and I'll get Uncle Bill some firewood. So I'm glad we decided to do that. Otherwise this would have been stuck back there. That little green utility trailer. Let's see, it's over here. That one, it's light. You can pick that up on the tongue and move it around, so we were able to just take it off of my truck, put it onto Jeff's. This camper trailer, it's not a big one, but it's still pretty heavy. You'd have a hard time doing that. So anyway, it could have been a whole lot worse than what it is. Here we are the next morning, and it snowed last night. Yeah, this is not really what I wanted to have happen, but it's sure nice to be able to do this, and boy oh boy. Yeah, this ain't good. It's reasonably funny though. This is what it looks like. Too dark under there to see it. The pinion gear in the front, the bearing fell out. So that's the problem. This right here, one of the bearings. right, we're good. Fun stuff. Well, we got the truck on home, put it in this new shed here, workshop on the fairgrounds. I wish we had some power in here and some lights, but it's not finished yet. Anyway, the bearings that broke out right here, like that. These go in a circle. There's one here. They look like this, and all these little rollers fell out, and the rest of it's still inside the rear end here. The pinion gear is the one in the front. It's really hard to see it. Let's see here. Okay, pretty dark. I don't know if you can see it or not. The pinion gear is this one clear up here in the front, and it runs off of your drive line up here, which is of course not on there right now. But that spins around in a circle, which spins this around in a circle, which spins these around in a circle and turns your wheels. So without that, it doesn't work. And looking around in here, I should have grabbed my flashlight before I climbed under here. Looking at all these teeth and stuff, I don't see any of them are broken. So it might be okay in that way. Taking it apart, I'll find out if any of them's really damaged. But what happened is there's a nut. There's a nut right there on the front of this, and that got loose. And when that got loose, it caused it to wear uneven, and it took that bearing out. Oh, bummer. It's going to be an expensive fix. The junkyard, today is Saturday, and the junkyard isn't really open until Monday. They still do some towing and whatnot on the weekends. So Monday, I'm going to see if they have a whole axle assembly, the whole works, brake drums and the tube and the whole thing. And then there's only just a few bolts that hold this on, and a couple of brake cables and things like that. That would be the quickest and simplest fix. Maybe not the best fix, because you're still using, used equipment, used parts. But most of them, if the truck got wrecked in the front end anyway, or the motor blew up, and maybe there's nothing wrong with the truck at all, or something like that, then a junkyard rear end would be just fine. I did that. I had that old kind of cream-colored Ford pickup, and it broke an axle, and so I went to the junkyard, and I think they charged me $100, $150, something like that, and I got a whole new rear end for it, and just threw that in there, and it lasted until the truck quit. So, this truck, I call it my new truck, and it is my new truck. I've never had anything as new as this before. It's a 2001, which still makes it 23 years old. So, it's not a new truck, and everything on it, I'm sure, is worn too. Throwing a junkyard rear end in there, what am I losing? It doesn't have to be a brand new part. It'd be nicer if it was, but cost-wise, it's probably not worth it. And talking about brand new parts, I do have brand new U-joints. Good thing I got them fixed. Well, my drive line here, I gotta bring it in, but I mean, these all look pretty good now. And I have a feeling that this one going bad, that's what started all this, because this is the part that hooks to the broken piece now. And with that being worn out, this would vibrate. You know, going down the road, I couldn't feel it, but I'm sure it vibrated enough that it just kind of wore that bearing out. Well, there's always something. Kind of bad timing of the year in some ways, and good timing in others. If it had done it middle of the summer, I'm working too much and don't really have time to fix it either. And I didn't have this new workshop middle of summer either. It's I don't know when we built this, a month or so ago. So at least now I'm out of the weather. I'm on the cement. Get it fixed inside. Like I said, I wish it had lights, electricity, and some heat, but it's still better than out here in the rocks and the sticks and the gravel and the mud, snow. I'll be out of the wind in here, and anyway, that's kind of a bummer. I'm afoot for a while. So I'm not sure how my trapping season's going to go from here. I might not be able to get a lot done. I still have my little black truck, and it has some problems. I don't know. It had a clunk, sounded like in the transmission, is why I gave up on that. But I still have it. It still does run. I'd have to put insurance on it again. But if worse comes to worse, I could drive that until I break down and freeze to death up there in the snow. So I got my little Jeep, but that one also needs work. The Jeep brakes, those old Willys Jeeps, that's a 1948. And in 1948, they used little bitty brake drums. They're 8 or 9 inch, and they weren't enough when they were new. And what is it, like 70 years later, 1948, what would that be? Yeah, pretty close, I think. 74, I think. Maybe, I don't know. I flunked math really easy. I had no problems there at all. But anyway, somewhere around 70 years old, they're even worse. You know, you compare them to modern day brakes and these side-by-sides and things, you realize just how bad they really are. So I bought a kit that will let me convert those two small Willys brake drums to Suzuki Samurai disc brakes. I bought that several years ago, and I haven't had any time to put them in. So, depending on what this costs, I might be doing that this winter here for very much longer, so I can drive the little Jeep. And it's not definitely a very comfortable thing. There's no, you know, most trucks have insulation on the floor and things like that in the door panels and stuff. This has no doors, just sheet metal on the floor and on the walls, and it's not warm at all. The heater sort of works. It'll keep you alive, but it won't be comfortable. Oh, got a rabbit over here. These little rabbits. It's funny, when we first moved to the fairgrounds in 2002, we never saw any rabbits for the first probably 10 years. Last couple of years, we've had a lot of them out here. Kind of like seeing them. As long as they don't eat Cindy's fruit trees again, or she'll get out the shotgun and we'll be eating rabbit for a while. Need to run that tractor back into this shop also. And that one, the clutch is pretty darn near to gone. I need to run that into town and get them to fix that too. Now, anyway, that's where we're at, which ain't really stranded. It ain't really a good way to be, but see you tomorrow, folks, and thanks for watching. Man, look at them mountains, the way the snow is on them, the clouds, sunlight. Very pretty. As you can tell, being that I've showed these about 3 million times, I never really get tired of these mountains. I love them. See ya.